Hi friends, DK this side. All these times in past few years, we have been talking about financial literacy, stock market, mutual fund, and technical analysis, fundamental analysis. But now India celebrates 75 years of independence. This is the time to know more about India, as to how has been the journey of India. So let us look India's journey from 1947 through the lens of significant events in each year. When Britishers came to India, it was a large undivided land filled with wealth and riches. We might have heard all about Sone ki Chidiya kind of India. When they left, when Britishers left, India was struggling with poverty and lot many problems. So India has completed 75 years, and on 15th August 2022, India will celebrate its 75th Independence Day. The number 75 is quite significant, my friends. For its alone, it indicates how many years India has completed as an independent nation after driving out English from this land. But journey has not been easy, and it will not be easy, especially when India was struggling with lot many problems at the time of independence in 1947. So when Britishers left, the India was no longer undivided. So English ruled India for nearly 200 years. So friends, don't forget to subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell and like the video. Let us go through the journey of India with major events year-wise. 1947, the India gained independence, and it was the year of independence for India, at the same time partition of India. Our first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru delivered a landmark speech tryst with destiny to the Indian Constituent Assembly in the Parliament. 1948, Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated. Few months after the independence, Mahatma Gandhi, father of nation, was assassinated in 1948 on 30th January. In 1949, Constitution of India was adopted by the Constituent Assembly, which was a landmark year for independent India, and India became a republic in 1950. 26 January 1950, the Constitution of India, the supreme law for the country, came in existence in force. 1951 was the year when the first 5-year plan was launched. The major focus of the plan was to develop the primary sector in the country. In 1952, India witnessed the first Lok Sabha election. Friends, it was a very huge task because 1949 candidates contested for 489 seats. Just imagine the infrastructure at that point of time. It was certainly a huge task. In 1953, Air India was nationalized. We all know that Air India in 1932 was J.R.D. Tata founded Air India as Tata Airlines. And now in 2022, we all know that Air India has come back to the family that is in Tata Group. In 1954, India and China signed the bilateral agreement called Panchsheel. It was founded on the principles of coexistence in peace with the territorial integrity and sovereignty. In 1955, State Bank of India was founded, and then in 1956, Life Insurance Corporation of India, that is LIC, was founded. In 1957, Indian currency was converted into the decimal system. So since then, 1 rupee consists of 100 naya paisa. In 1958, Armed Forces Special Powers Act was passed. In 1959, Dalai Lama was given political asylum in India. In 1960, the state of Maharashtra was formed. And then in 1961, there was a liberalization of Goa. India annexed Goa, Daman, Diu, which was earlier under the Portuguese rule. In 1962, India-China war took place. In 1964, when Shastriji was our Prime Minister, China was signed, which is known as Agreement on Persons of Indian Origin in Ceylon, and was an important agreement in determining the status and future of the people of Indian origin in Sri Lanka. In 1965, India faced yet another war with Pakistan. In 1966, three very important events took place in India that in fact shaped the future course and narrative of India. On 10th January 1966, we all know about Tashkent Declaration, a peace agreement between India and Pakistan, and a very next day on 11th January 1966, our second Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri expired. And third major event was when Mrs. Indira Gandhi took over as Prime Minister of India on 24th January 1966. In 1967, Nathula and Chola clashes, which was a series of border cases, which is also known as Sino-Indian War of 1967, which was a series of border clashes between India and China alongside the border of the then Kingdom of Sikkim, now of course the part of Indian territory. In 1968, Union Ministry adopted the three-language formula for education system in the country. And in 1969, ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization, was formed. Now India enters into 70s. In 1970, the Patents Act was passed. Now 1971. The 1971 India-Pakistan War is one of the most significant moments in the history of an independent India. And in this, Pakistan has to face defeat. Pakistan's defeat resulted into the formation of a new country now known as Bangladesh, which was earlier known as East Pakistan. In 1972, Simla Agreement was signed between the then Indian Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto from Pakistan. In 1973, Mysore state was renamed Karnataka state. 1974 has been a landmark year for India because of the Operation Smiling Buddha that took place on 18th May 1974, and India became a nuclear nation. India successfully tested nuclear bomb in Pokhran test range in Rajasthan, and it was more significant considering the fact that India became the first official country in the world which was outside the UN Security Council, the five-nation UN Security Council, to have a nuclear capability. Then came 1975, probably the darkest year in the history of independent India. An emergency was imposed on 25th June 1975, where the civil liberties were suspended, elections were cancelled, and all top opposition leaders were sent to jail. But in 1975, one good thing happened. India's first satellite, Aryabhat, was also launched in the year 1975. During the emergency, because emergency remained from 1975 to 1977, the year of 1976 is also known for infamous Sanjay Gandhi's sterilization program. 1977 was yet another important year in independent India because the Lok Sabha election was held during the emergency and Mrs. Indira Gandhi, the Congress lost the election, and India's first non-Congress government under the Prime Ministership of Morarji Desai was formed. In 1978, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, who lost the election in 1977, came to parliament through a by-election, but finally she was arrested. In 1979, ruling Janata Party, led by Prime Minister Morarji Desai, constituted a Mandal Commission. The sole aim of the Mandal Commission was to identify socially and educationally backward classes in the country. Then India entered into 80s, and 1980 has many political significance. On 6th April 1980, Bharatiya Janata Party was formed, which is a ruling party of the day. In 1980 Lok Sabha election, Mrs. Indira Gandhi came strongly into the power by winning 353 seats in parliamentary elections. Then on June 23rd, 1980, Sanjay Gandhi, who was widely being considered as the next successor of Mrs. Indira Gandhi, died in a plane crash. In 1981, India stepped into a new age corporate world. Infosys was formed in 1981. In 1982, color television started in India, and then in 1983, we all know India won the World Cup cricket match under the leadership of Kapil Dev, and that changed the scenario of the Indian cricket team, what we see today. In 1984, the then Prime Minister of India, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, was assassinated, and Bhopal gas tragedy took place in 1984. In 1985, TADA came into effect. TADA was in fact implemented to tackle the Khalistan movement. In 1986, the first Operation Black Thunder took place to flush out remaining pro-Khalistan Sikh militants from the Golden Temple. In 1987, Goa became a state of India. In 1988, the SEBI was established, which regulates the stock market and commodity market in India. Of course, earlier FMC was regulating the commodity market, which was finally brought under the purview of SEBI. In 1989, Agni was successfully launched, and India became among the 5 nations in the world with intermediate range ballistic missile strategic capability. 1990 marked the year for exodus of Kashmiri Hindus or Kashmiri Pandits, and 1991 Indian former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. In 1993, Bombay blast marked the attack on India. In 1994, Prithvi missile was inducted into Indian Army. And in 1995, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation was founded. In 1996, Atal Bihari Vajpayee became the PM for the first time. But BJP failed to muster a majority among the members of Lok Sabha, and Vajpayee ji had to resign. In 1997, K.R. Narayan from the Dalit community became the first Dalit President of India, and in 1997, Nobel Peace Prize winner Mother Teresa passed away in Calcutta. In 1999, Atal Bihari Vajpayee became the Prime Minister of India again, and Kargil War took place in 1999, and Air India flight was hijacked in the same year. Now, India entered into the new century, and in the year 2000, Jharkhand became the 26th state of India. And Bill Clinton, the then US President, visited in year 2000, and which was the visit of a US President after 22 years. Gujarat witnessed a massive earthquake. Epicenter was in Bhuj, claiming the life of nearly 20,000 people in Gujarat. And in 2001, Narendra Modi became the Chief Minister of Gujarat, marking his footprints to the Indian political scene. In 2002, Prevention of Terrorist Act was passed by the Parliament of India, which is known as POTA. In 2008, Chandrayaan-1 was launched, and in the same year, we witnessed 26/11 dreaded attack on Mumbai. In 2009, NIA was formed. In 2009 itself, India witnessed the largest corporate frauds, that is Satyam Computer Services scandal, which we all know. And in 2009 itself, India launched its first nuclear submarine. In 2010, education became the fundamental right of the children in India, and India became one of the few countries in the world to do so. And then came 2011, marking yet another history in Indian cricketing sport, and India won the World Cup under the leadership of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And it was in history in itself because India became the first country to win the World Cup on its own soil. In 2012, India hosted the BRICS summit in New Delhi. After leading a very successful and distinguished political career, Pranab Mukherjee became the President of India in year 2012. In 2013, Criminal Law Amendment Act was passed, and in 2013 itself, the National Food Security Act 2013 came in force, which aims to provide subsidized food grains to almost 2/3 of the country's entire population. And then came the year 2014, historical moment in Indian political scene. Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister of India for the first time. In 2015, Niti Aayog was formed. In 2016, Uri attack and India's surgical strikes on Pakistan took place. In 2017, GST was launched by the government of India. And in 2017, a landmark judgment came from Supreme Court of India that the practice of instant triple talaq is unconstitutional, and a divorce pronounced by uttering talaq 3 times in one sitting is void and illegal. In 2018, Supreme Court decriminalized Section 377, which was imposed by British rule in India in 1861. 2019 would be known as Pulwama attack and Balakot airstrike. And then came in 2020, a dreaded COVID-19 pandemic, which broke down the world economy in many ways. And the people all over the world suffered a lot due to the COVID 2019. 2021 witnessed controversy over 3 new farm laws in India. Till making of this video, India gets its first tribal president. After having known various events year-wise since independence of India in 1947, one thing is very sure. Despite of several problems forthcoming during the journey of 75 years of India, India has come out with the flying colors. And now, India as a country is all set to be the fastest growing economy in next 2 years that we have already discussed on this channel. Now, India is among the top 5 strongest economies in the world. Friends, I would like you to give your thorough comments, event-wise, that what are the events which you knew before this video, and what are those things, new things, which you have learned about India in this video. Thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe the channel and hit the notification bell.